Well, good afternoon, everyone. My name is Patricia Alarcón, and I'm the Interim Executive Director at El Monte Business Alliance. In short, it's EMBA. And I'm also the Principal Consultant for Alarcón Group LLC. I'm here today. I know we're a small group, but definitely eager to share with you that through my many years of experience in government, but also in community and advocacy in business and education and the arts has led me to where I'm at today. And one of the former positions that I used to have at USC was Director of Strategic Partnerships and Family Development Institute, which I'm very proud of. And that is intrinsically, but also extremely relevant to the business sector that I'm embarking on at present, but also that I foresee in the future as advocating for the business community. So in my background, I'm also have government relations and government economic development as well as community relations experience with former Mayor Garcetti, former Mayor Villaraigosa, and still continue to leverage my connections at this time to assist and to help in my present position with El Monte Business Alliance. Now, with El Monte Business Alliance, as you can see, in short, we call it EMBA, is committed to fostering a vibrant business community in El Monte, but not limited to El Monte. Now, our economic growth and drive in that community has also affected in a positive way our surrounding communities. And I want to mention this because when we think of a business model, and what I found out in speaking to the local businesses in El Monte is that they're also doing business with neighboring communities such as Monrovia, Arcadia, Pasadena, and so forth. So our membership at EMBA has not only embraced the local El Monte community, but also the San Gabriel Valley. And we also have members from San Fernando Valley, as well as the state of Nevada. So our resources, our workshops, many which are hybrid, in-person and virtual, are beneficial to that audience, are beneficial if you are also out of state, because our virtual information and resources and access to these resources are made available in that sector. So we can go to the next slide, Travis. Okay, so a quick overview. Mastering growth strategies, capital, marketing, and collaborations is what I'm going to focus on today. I believe that these are key elements in any business community. There are many, many more that we can embark on, but these are the main ones based on the time that we have today, as well as what I would like to cover. So access to capital, learn about diverse funding options available on how to secure resources your startup needs to grow, marketing strategies, get practical advice on building brand awareness, engaging your target audience, and driving customer acquisition. Networking, this is my favorite. Discover how to effectively leverage professional networks to foster business development and growth. And collaborations, another one of my favorites, which is explore how partnerships and alliances can create synergies that accelerate your business and long-term success. So access to capital, just like any topic, any challenge in our community, in our business environment, in our government relations environment, access is one of the key ingredients to be able to have a successful project of any type. In this one, we're talking about business. So access to capital, access to money, access to funding sources, and what are they? So these key components that I've gathered here is some that were prioritized with EMBA, as well as my personal experience in working with former Garcetti's office in economic development. And that is identify diverse funding sources, explore options like banks, credit unions, venture capital, angel investing, which involves obtaining funds from individuals who provide sort of backing for startups and businesses, and government grants and contracts such as those from SBA. To access funding through nonprofit lenders, specializing in fair, accessible loans tailored to small business, often with flexible terms and additional resources like free business advising to support sustainable growth. There are such thing as microloans for smaller loans. And the average I've researched is around 13,000 for businesses and up to 50,000. Those are smaller loans. So when we get into the types of loans that are out there and what is accessible, I find it very beneficial that the business owner or those that are thinking of looking into microloans or any type of loan is do your research, find out what the nonprofit community is offering, in addition to guidance on how to access these funds, how to apply for them, and help you with the application process. It's so important to already work with individuals that do this on the day-to-day, not try to reinvent the wheel, but use these resources that are out there that are usually free with the SBDC and SBA. Now, crowdfunding and community financing, that's to understand crowdfunding models and community lending platforms focusing on building an effective campaign. One example is, and I've read, is like Oculus Rift, a virtual reality headset, which raised 2.4 million on a Kickstarter, and it gained support from thousands of backers and was acquired by Facebook. That's just an example of what crowdfunding can do. And that's another type of funding resource that some businesses have looked into. And I see that as a transition of what we now have in accessibility to the times. 20 years ago, we would not have that maybe type of model available online, available with the optics out there and what's accessible nowadays that we're almost all of us, I would say 99.9, I just not to be obsolete in covering everything, but 100% we would say ideal that all businesses are online access. So that means that we have a greater broad accessibility to additional creative and innovative funding resources such as this one. Marketing strategies. Building a strong brand identity, maintain consistent branding across all channels to establish a memorable and credible brand. I can give you an example most recent example with El Monte Business Alliance. And that was something that we struggled in building a strong brand identity because we have a board with different ideas, innovative ideas of what EMBA should look like. So when we had a professional come in and tell us, okay, let's narrow it down. And I'm giving this example because there's different types of resources that you can obtain to start branding your business, to actually identify what that is. What is your vision? And we went through the entire process. And that process was extremely rewarding because at the end, we had a logo that we all agreed to. We had the messaging that we all agreed to. We had the visuals, the optics, the website, social media components that all were aligned to the same vision and mission that we had created for the organization. With that said, the digital marketing essentials, that's what I'm talking about, the leveraging the social media, email marketing, SEOs to read the analytics and find out what's out there and targeting your audience. You must focus on a few platforms and track analytics. That's so important. Data is important in finding those search engine optimization resources in terms for you to track your data, even if it's a small business or a large business, and leverage social media platforms, build brand awareness, engage with target audiences, and drive conversations through tailored content, strategic ad placements, and consistent community interaction. With EMBA, and I'll use this as an example, in Monte Business Alliance, we track, we survey, and that, in essence, builds our content for our website on a monthly basis. It's very important to listen at the same time. What is your customer? What are their needs? What is trending? What is happening? What is the research? What is policy out there in government? What are the government contracts that are taking place? All of this is important for your business, be it a small business, be it a large business, but you have to narrow it down strategically to find out who am I serving? How can I serve them best? How can my products reach this audience? So branding is completely in line and should be aligned with their mission and vision. And of course, providing those products in an effective way where it reaches that audience or that customer. I'm a big fan of AI in different aspects, and one is the business component. So with item number 4, integrated AI-driven marketing materials to enhance personalization, optimize ad targeting, and analyze customer behavior, creating data-informed strategies that drive more effective and efficient marketing outcomes. We have seen so many opportunities, free courses, free workshops, speakers, and Emba recently had an AI speaker from SBDC. And I mention those because this is the trend too. However, in speaking with our business owners in the local community, we did survey, we asked them about AI. We have a 40% already engaging in AI, and the remainder want to learn more about AI and how can that benefit their business. So I see this as a growing trend, if it not already is a trend growth in our business environment, but using the resources and the free, which I say free, and I emphasize that because there are many. And as business owners, we wear anywhere from 1 to 7 or more hats. So do your research. Make sure that you find free resources first, exhaust those avenues. What are they? Where can we get free resources? Just go online, do free research, go to your SBDC. They have an array of free resources for you, and also your colleagues, other business owners that are already using them.
Patricia, I have a
Yes.
question. This is JJ.
Sure.
On the integration of AI into marketing tools,
Correct.
could you give me an example of something that's worked or you witnessed?
Yes. Great question. Thank you so much. I will use EMBA because this is where I'm actively involved with the Monte Business Alliance. What we recently launched was a complete marketing project. And that project was an AI-driven marketing project where we use the information on a survey to first find out, is our audience interested, right? This is more of an elementary for us. So it's, were they interested? Are they not interested? Second, make a decision in bringing in a speaker on how the businesses can integrate AI into their materials. It could, and they varied. One of them was promotions, business promotions. So we had Chick-fil-A in El Monte use an AI integrated marketing tool, and from using the content, the messaging, the examples, they were able to leverage in a cost-effective way using AI, which they will continue now to use moving forward to enhance and teach their staff to also promote within the community. And what does that mean? Okay, so what it means is that they are moving from not only their staff, one person doing marketing strategies for their Chick-fil-A, which is one of the owners from in El Monte. They also have an array of staff members that were identified to also learn these marketing strategies. So they are in charge of going into the community, finding out what can we do? What can we provide to the community? Okay, we have an incentive of a percentage off on our products for this Friday because we're recognizing that entails what's the messaging? What is it about? So they did integrate AI capability and tools to formalize a messaging, and they're continuing to do that and also experiment. Another experiment is that El Monte Business Alliance integrated AI in order to market to the businesses, from research, from creating programs, but in addition to that, to making sure that the tools are there for the community, meaning the business community, and for the El Monte Business Alliance to continue to target that audience and integrate it in a way where it's, one, ethical, because there's a lot of ethics around this in terms of content and messaging. Those are one of the concerns from our survey. But that would be 2 examples. Another third example, which is data driven, is that after, say we have a campaign that we executed at EMBA, which is an individual giving campaign for donors, is that we also integrated AI marketing tools to find out, let's use this type of tool to see if we can create an individual giving campaign where it's exciting, but at the same time integrating it to an actual immediate result. So they see their results. So I donated $50 and they see an actual live item where we've now raised 200, 300. And once they hit that, they're connected to, these are the results. These are how many businesses you're impacting. This is how your donation is, but in real time. So that's something that we're doing right now, and it'll launch in December. But it's an actual like live, once you hit that button, it's live and it's all AI driven. No one is actually creating it, other instructing an AI tool on how to create it and in essence, building it from there. It's very new to us, John, super new, the AI. So this is something that we are also experimenting, but at the same time, I do recommend businesses to do their own research, but also to experiment with it, because I believe that this trend is not only going to enhance their business as it has us as an organization, but also add to it and being very cost effective.
Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate it.
Yeah, I just wanted to mention on that point, the center has recently partnered with one of our alumni. JJ, is Aaron Maistat a alumni?
Close enough.
Close enough. Fair enough. All right. Well, he's created an AI tool that we have now on our blog, and I'll put the link to the blog in the chat. And basically, it's a little heading at the top that has a bar on it where you could enter in what kind of business you are working on creating or thinking about creating, and then it'll after a minute or so will push out all the information that you need to get started on researching your idea and get started on actually building your business. So I just wanted to mention that. And
that is excellent.
Yeah, it is very powerful.
It is.
Yeah.
It is.
I see that Ritu has her hand up. Ritu, can you unmute yourself?
Hi, Ritu.
Hey there. So Travis, this question is for you. Is that tool available? Like, do you want to work together to see if that's something I can offer to my clients as a part of the subscription model, or is it only specific to the university students?
So the tool is created by Aaron Maistat. I'll put the link to it. It is free to use for anybody. And Ritu, if you want an introduction to the person who created it, Aaron Maistat, I'd be happy to do that.
Okay, got it. Thank you.
And I see the one of the greatest benefits is an instant result AI has brought into the picture. So as Travis has mentioned, you put in the type, and Travis, correct me if I'm wrong, but you put in the type of business that you're looking into.
Exactly.
Pursuing.
Yes.
It's an instant. It sounds like it's instant, and that's exactly what we're capturing with us. Is your dollars, boom, here, and this is the instant picture. With it's visual, it's informative, and it shows. They don't have to. The person donating doesn't have to wait till they receive a letter or an email. It's instant. This is where your money's going. This is where, and this is the impact you're giving. It's an instant impact report. And it varies. It's not going to be the same because they do have a choice of where their money is going. And if it's for education at EMBA, if it's for business startup at EMBA, is it for outreach and research operations, whatever it may be, but it does give a pie chart. It does give an information. It does give visuals, and it does also enhance the optics with photos of past collaborations and partnerships that resulted in the need for those funds. Why do we need those funds? But that's the fundraising component that I'm passionate about. I'm always passionate about how can we raise funds for good organizations. And I really wanted something that would integrate and engage the donor. The one thing I'm going to give $50, but $50, where is it going? And that's one of the questions that I've always, where's my money going? And we hope to resolve that question by integrating AI tools for it.
Yeah, and that's a great point. I mean, so one of the ways that I use AI professionally is by just asking it to give a set of things to consider for whatever it is that I'm doing, right? So it just kind of gives an outline with just bullet points of all the different things that I should address, and then I could work with it to craft that messaging that you're talking about. It's really
Correct.
powerful.
Extremely powerful. And you become the business owner becomes, or an individual that uses AI becomes the director. You're the director and instructing the AI exactly what you want. And it takes a various amount of time to get used to it. It takes, and from what we're experiencing as well as learning. But once you have the on and on experience of using these tools, it becomes like a second nature to use it, and you get more creative too. I'm sure that after this project, we'll think of another project and find out what will benefit EMBA and its membership and the business community. Can we think of another innovative concept that will integrate AI and will give that instant information that everyone seeks, and not wait 1 week or 1 day or several months for it, but an instant picture of what we're trying to capture and relay to the consumer. In essence, for EMBA, it would be for membership. Networking. So networking, as I mentioned, is probably the favorite or one of the favorites topics for myself. And networking, when I know John was mentioning the 12-year-olds, that's the age I believe networking should be introduced in the real world. However, networking, as from my personal experience, I learned it post-college and in the professional work environment. And networking has its beautiful aspects to it, which one is strategic relationship building. As a business owner, you are focused in enhancing your business, you are focused in growing your business, as well as developing customer and customer retention. So what does that mean for a business owner relations to networking? I'm a firm believer that you must focus on where you should be at, who you should be talking to, and what does that mean for you and your business if you're looking at business growth, for an example? So you maximize your local resources, use resources like the Fullerton Chamber of Commerce, college events, incubator programs such as Cal State University Fullerton Startup Incubator to expand your network, leveraging social media and online platforms, use LinkedIn and online communities to connect with others in your industry and enhance your network, actively participate in community initiatives and events, fostering connections with business leaders, government officials, nonprofit organizations, which open doors to collaborative projects and expand opportunities for mutual growth and impact. So I'll give an example with any nonprofit, and I give back to my community, to my extended community, and I try to find ways, how can I help this organization if I'm asked to actively participate in assisting them with a certain project or initiative or campaign. And networking is one of the key ingredients to being a successful advocate for that, but also to be able to effectively help that business or that organization. There are so many opportunities when we go to an event, for example, a city of LA or city of Fullerton, or in essence, El Monte, city of El Monte, there are events. I cannot stress enough how a business owner wearing so many different hats should include this hat, a networking hat. You are the face, you are the voice of your business. You must be out there. And if it's not you, identify someone in your staff or identify someone that is helping you to be out there. When I say to be out there, to be a participatory face and name to your business. Your business may require one day, for example, permits, may require who do I know? I want to apply for this. Just an example, a government contract. Do I know anyone in the city? Do I know anyone that can help me at this organization? Or this company or foundation is giving grants to businesses at this level. And hypothetically speaking, because there are so many grants, so many contracts, but how do we, as a business owner, are able to access those grants or apply for those grants? You look at their board. Who's on their board? You look at who the events that they support, attend one of the events, network, show them who you are, talk about your business. If you don't share who you are, if you don't share about your business, most likely they won't know unless they research you. And for that step to take place, it would have to take something on their end to indicate or direct them to research your particular business and who you are. So it's our responsibility as business owners to make sure that we network, that we share our business card, that we talk about our business, that we leverage social media, join workshops, join anything that would benefit, of course, your business. But I can't stress this enough. Folks that I've met from 10 years ago at an event, or that I've met and that I've worked with, have materialized 10 years later, 5 years later, 1 year later. Oh, can you help us out with this project? I know that you have these services that you provided. Just because, one, reputation, two, work ethic, but three, sharing who you are and networking. I can't stress that enough. There's not one moment that you should not be networking. You should be networking all the time and just sharing who you are, who your business, what your business is, and how you can effectively perform a service that they may need at that time or keep you in mind. Are there any questions on this one in particular?
Trisha, the only thing I guess I want to add is I feel people forget when they think about brand that your personal brand represents your company brand, right? So people don't invest in businesses as much as they do in people, which is where, to your point, it's a great call out that, you need to be there out there representing your brand.
Absolutely, Ritu. And in adding to that, and you reminded me of something, community.
Yes.
As a community advocate over 20 years, and all of us, I feel, as business owners, we indirectly become community participatory elements at some point in our business life.
Yes.
And when we are out there and there is a holiday giveaway, for example, and you happen to go to this, using that as an example, a holiday giveaway in the city, sponsored by the city, but also sponsored by other businesses, other nonprofits, organizations, and you show yourself and reach it. That's so important. You're the brand. You show yourself, and you're representing. You're proud of your business. You want to make sure that is priceless. They remember your support. Yep. They remember you are there. And when you are seeking a grant or you're seeking a contract, you don't have to say much on that. And they've visibly seen you and they know about you. And they say, oh, well, Patricia, I remember her. Oh, yeah. And the smile, because you have participated intrinsically in a environment that they are also passionate about. You're passionate about giving back, but at the same time, it's a win-win, because if in the future you need some information or assistance, the key folks, you already have those relationships built, that network built, and it's priceless. You can't put a dollar on these relationships because they may equal partnerships in the future, or they keep you in mind. Oh, so Patricia can probably come in as one of the team members that can help us with this consulting service, or EMBA can, because I represent EMBA. EMBA can provide, let's include them. And it's no longer about no one knows us, but it's we should think of EMBA joining our efforts in this community. And guess what? The EMBA grows, the membership grows, and we're able to serve and meet one of our core key missions is to enhance, of course, the business community with resources and access to capital. And again, with networking, SBA, SBDC, and other resources that provide loans or can teach or can help with applications, that's where our membership benefits, our relationships, and EMBA's also partnerships in bringing these free resources to, of course, community, the business community. So yes, Ritu, it's super important. I say I never let go of my networking hat. It's always has to be on, always. You never know who you meet, where, and what.
Yep, definitely. Thank you.
Oh, no, thank you. And next slide, please. Collaborations. From networking to collaboration, some may say this is the same thing, and no, it's not. From my perspective, collaborations is a bit further. It is the next phase to networking. Collaborative partners, collaborative projects, collaborative initiatives all sounds very promising and successful because the synergy it creates is successful, is mutually beneficial. So as it says here, identifying complementary partners, a business owner should always think of when you're networking out there, you're seeking partnerships, but also that are relevant to your business. If I have a restaurant, how is this networking opportunity or this relationship going to help my restaurant business? I just met a La Palma restaurant in El Monte. And because of EMBA's participation, and we brought in, over 50 members for an event, our business partners, our membership is now aware that La Palma restaurant is available as a space to hold their meetings, business meetings, events, and so forth. So that business will grow. So forging these strategic partnerships, you aim to create, like it says, great synergies, share expertise, maximize impact, and supporting local businesses, supporting each other. Fostering strategic partnerships and collaboration, essential for driving business growth, enhancing market reach, and creating mutually beneficial opportunities with key industry stakeholders. This is a bit more strategic, and I see strategic partnerships as I would embark in at USC is a very important and vital concept. Sometimes businesses are offered an opportunity to engage in a project. The project is huge. They don't have a 50 staff. It's probably, I'm using an example, a business owner and maybe 2 staff members. What happens in fostering a strategic partnership, and what I've seen in the past, is you bring in your higher education organization, institution, you bring in a for-profit, you bring in for nonprofit, you bring in government, and you create a team. Those strategic partnerships can then embark in effectively completing that project, but also cost-effective way without you having to hire 20 people, 30 people. You bring in and you find ways to work together, and that drives a specific strategic partnership to getting that collaborative effort into fruition, creating win-win situations. So of course, like any project or business plan, or if you move forward campaign, you define your goals, your benchmarks, you negotiate terms, what's going to benefit, what party is bringing this to the table, what's negotiated, the value, and how it's going to benefit all. It's so important, and I can't stress this enough for business owners. Do not only use a verbal agreement in any partnership. If you, and one tool that you can use is AI for this. Can you help me develop a contract, an MOU with this other entity? It's important that you look at the legal and financial aspects for any project, but if you're partnering, make sure it's documented. And this will lead to a professional, ethical, but at the same time, it's documented and it's professional for both parties. An example of that is an MOU. So currently, I'm creating an MOU, and I'll give you an example with EMBA and the VSEDC, the Vermont Laws and Economic Development, which is in South LA. VSEDC would like to do some work in El Monte with the Latino community. So I am creating an MOU with specific items embedded in that MOU, also including length. How long is this collaboration/partnership? And also what entails expectations and objectives, including any financial budgets, etc. So that enables us to have a clear picture of what both parties are seeking. And if they both agree to that MOU, then it's of course signed and effective. If I've heard of many organizations and businesses that do a verbal, which is fine. There's a comfort level to it, but however, to make it professional, effective, and enforceable, it's always good to have it in writing to protect all parties and to have a clear picture of what that partnership looks like. And it's just a very healthy way of doing business. It should be a norm, I should say. Okay, so conclusion. As we've explored, our vision and strategy are built on a foundation of resilience, innovation, and collaboration. Moving forward, our success will rely on our ability to adapt. I can't stress that enough. I know I've said that cliche, but it's important as business owners. We put urgency into adaptability. There's from government, there's policy changes on an annual basis or biannual basis. There's also information, trends, financials. Where is our government providing contracts? Where does it look like 5 years from now? What is our nonprofit world doing? So all this research, and as a business owner, we must adapt to the times. We should stay consistent in making sure that we are informed, that we are educated in what's out there in terms of funding, in terms of networking, collaborative efforts, and where your business can be first and in front of the items versus not taking advantage of what's out there. And in order to find out what is out there for your business, you must do the research. You must wear that research hat. You must wear the, marketing hat. You must wear networking hat and collaborative hats. And do they make sense for your business? Maybe one does, not all four. But in my experience and what I have heard from our business community in El Monte and beyond is that all hats are at the table, all these hats that we wear and more. So thank you for your time and commitment. Let's take this next steps with confidence and purpose, knowing that we're building a stronger business together. And there's a picture of, I was trying to capture Fullerton. So let me know if I did justice to it or not.
Looks good to me. So
So the next slide. Okay, so I compiled resource pages, and I say pages because I believe there's 4, where they're in the subheading of items with their links, and that you may find useful, or your membership may find useful, to get more information and obtain those key answers to specifics on access to capital. If we go to the next one, we also have marketing and brand building links. And go to the next one. I just wanted to show you that there's all these items, networking and local resources. So if you see there's Fullerton Chamber of Commerce, we go back to 3. I just want to make sure that I cover this. The startup here at Cal State University Fullerton Startup Incubator events, LinkedIn for startups, City of Fullerton Economic Development Division, Fullerton Community Events Calendar. Again, I wanted to make it relevant to the geographic location. It should not be limited to exploring neighboring city, local resources and events, as well as state and federal and so forth. Go to the next page, please. Collaboration and partnerships, SCORE. I'm really a big advocate of SCORE. There's also Tech Coast Angels, U.S. Chamber of Commerce. I love the U.S. Chamber of Commerce. They're always offering resources online where you can join virtual events and information. Their website is amazing. California Chamber of Commerce, California Association of Micro Enterprise Opportunity, if you want to learn more about that. So we go to the next page. So this is pretty much the end of the presentation. So I do want to share that on behalf of El Monte Business Alliance, we thank everyone here for your time, passion, commitments that are vital, that we work together to enhance and empower business community. And one quote that I live by and I breathe every morning is, partnerships are key and relationships are vital. And this has no timeline. I've lived by this since the first time I got exposed to community work, community leadership, and it's relevant more than ever in the business community. Keep those relationships, keep nurturing them, enhancing them, developing them. There's always a way to grow together for a more fruitful business community and its success. Let me know if you have any questions, and I thank you, Travis and team, for having me speak here today, and I hope that I brought at least a little bit of touch to our experience at EMBA, what we've been experiencing for the past year in terms of building business.
You know, one thing that I wanted to reinforce, and it's more of a comment than a question, the former CEO of General Electric, his name was Jack Welch. This is some time ago. He had an expression that you should change before you have to. And it's the notion that you're always looking to innovate and to try new things. And there's like a subtext to it, is that if everything's going really well, that's the best time to change. Yet most people wait until you get a flat tire or to something breaks or you're in trouble. And when you're doing really well, you have resources, you have staffing, everything's coming together. And I think in practice, it's harder to do than it is to say, but think about it. It's just easier to make a change when things are thriving. So I try to do that, but it's easy to become complacent and get in a rut and keep on doing what you're doing. And there's that other expression, if it's not broken, don't fix it, you know? So that's exactly wrong, is what that is. So anyways, I wanted to share that with you.
That's excellent. And I believe that's the pivot that we've experienced with social media, online resources, and pivoting to the internet when that happened eons ago, is that the accessibility to resources now makes it more available to us as individuals, but also as business owners to make that adaptability to change. And you're right. Don't wait till the tire's flat. Do it now. Research. My business is doing great. How can I enhance it? What partners how can I grow it? How can I sustain it? Sustainability is key. Retention. How can I keep my customers and not lose them? There's so many things, but it's all, I think, available in great programs like Cal State University Fullerton Startup Incubator, as well as the additional resources that we have available. I fell in love with your program, and I say it with those words because I didn't see anything out there with such meticulous care for the business owner. And when I was viewing the online, and this is because it was online program, and it's available to anyone that wishes to use it without paying thousands of dollars, which a business or an entrepreneur may not have at that moment. It is a blessing. It's a blessing where I hope that more organizations, more higher education institutions embark on such type of programs, such as the one that you have. Because one of the things that I do hear as well, and it goes back to the don't wait till the tire is broken, is as a business owner, finance may be an issue, even if they're embarking in their dream. They're embarking, I want to start my business. What does it take? How can I? And then AI comes in, right, Travis, where you find out how can AI give me, I want to start up this business. What does it take? What are the financials? How much do I need? I don't know exactly what those key data points are going to be populated. However, one of the things is, how much would it take for me to start this type of business? Once the business is rolling, everything's well. We don't want to wait until, say, we have 100 customers and now I'm down to 10. Why did that happen? Well, now I'm panicking. So we want to be upfront, and we want to make sure that, just as organizations like yourself and programs like yourself and EMBA and so forth are providing these resources, where the business owner, again, wears one of the many multiple hats that they wear, and say, I better do my research. I better look up on how I can keep my business and how I can keep it growing and surviving. And COVID hit, right? And I'm pivoting back to that. COVID hit. Everyone and their family members, if they did not already know how to use a computer, had to figure out and go to class and use a computer. We had at USC teaching parents how to use computers, a computer class, just starting there. And from there, I can imagine the business community, if they were not used to the computer of online resources, because face-to-face was limited. So we had to pivot to online. What does that look for the business owner that was not internet savvy or did not have the basic know-how of how to use a computer and get online and find out and click on City Hall, I need my permit. They can't go in person or it's limited. All these obstacles that may have produced and contributed to a closure of a business. How can I follow the rules that our county had COVID rules, city had COVID rules, the state had COVID rules. At the end, we had organizations like myself, we're doing food drives. Let's combine all the rules and make sure we cover all of them and we'll be fine. And let's, 15-minute rule of this and that. And guess what? But not everyone knew how to use a computer. Not everyone was able to. And not everyone was able to drive customers to their business because of the type of business they had and the rules that were taking place, and they weren't informed on time, and closure happens. So I know we're not in COVID. However, anything can happen and we cannot wait till that flat tire. We got to be on top of like, how can I easily go online and check this? How can I do this? How can I do that? How can I protect my business from a lawsuit? Is there such a thing? What can I do? So, I mean, these are, again, hypotheticals, but that are relevant to any type, and a few of many, an array to prepare. And I think one thing that, John, you brought to my attention is that I'm going to go back to my team. And actually, now I'm interested in more so in preparedness. How can we prepare the business for an unforeseen scenario? And that could be, this is a brainstorming session that I'm going to take back with my board. But what can we do, for example, in unforeseen scenario, and who is the first in line for them to reach out to, for government, for private sector, for public sector in general, for health and safety, for permitting, I mean, in general. So that's,
I was going to say risk management is
Yes.
a huge issue for a
Yes.
small, medium, and large business. And really, it means about every 6 months, you have to assess where you're at. And in terms of policies, people, grievances, quality, and then you make adjustments. And like a
Right.
simple one is insurance, right?
Right,
So being
right.
adequately insured for any type of disaster, lawsuit, cyber attack.
Right.
And then you adjust your policies within your organization. And and that is actually simply done. It's just a calendar item assessing property values, employee policies, turnover, and then you make maybe little adjustments. It's that ounce of prevention that we know of.
Absolutely. Well, thank you so much. And don't know if there were any questions or comments, but I love feedback.
It was a great presentation. You talked about what you and JJ were just discussing, adaptability, right? I mean, it's a huge thing that a lot of people don't think about, and trying to tie in AI to that as well. I mean, there's a lot of unknowns for business people, and go to AI, go to ChatGPT or anywhere, or even just do a simple Google search and start trying to figure out what those unknowns are, because eventually one of them is going to bite you. So it's good to be prepared.
Yeah.
Absolutely, be ahead of the game.
Yeah, it was a great presentation, and I'll second what Travis brought, right? The data-based, informed decisions go a long way. So definitely from using AI as a tool, not being concerned or threatened by it, it's a huge benefit. Like, think of it almost as, an additional resource in your pool. So I like that call out as well.
Data-driven decisions, I think, are not only should be a second nature to any business, but they're necessary.
Yes.
We cannot make decisions because, I think,
Yes.
or I like it.
Yeah.
I like this pie, so I'm going to sell this pie because I like this pie.
Yes.
No, what's out there? What are consumers buying? What are the data is fabulous. If we
Yes.
can share with our business owners that make data friendly resources friendly to you, make them your friend.
Yeah.
Don't alienate it, use it, right? Yeah.
Yeah. And Patricia, sometimes I think because we are entrepreneurs and heading to revenue and trying to, get our customers, we don't stop to build processes or, like leverage data because it's like, no, I got to go for that meeting. No, it's an investor. But, just if you step back and build a data structure, build a platform, you can be so much more efficient and so much better prepared. That's the struggle. And in later years, I realized that more. So I figure the mindset, I'm always trying to share that on how important platforms, data, repeatable processes are. It takes longer first time, but the second or third time, it's a huge benefit, value add, time saving, you name it.
Absolutely. And John, when you mentioned and into that, there's a correlation I'm making with you mentioned every 6 months, risk management eyes and putting your risk management hand, evaluating your business. I think data management, data analysis should be done equally as important as the risk management, a component moving forward every 6 months. And that's just because I don't have that experience in terms of identifying what has been done before. That's another action item for myself to learn what our business is doing with data on a daily basis, monthly basis, especially when it comes down to small business. What are they doing or they're not doing, and how can we integrate it in the future to where every 6 months they evaluate their business? What is the data out there? What are their numbers? Can you populate them? Can AI help you and develop a graph and a snapshot of what the next 6 months or year, 2 or 3 years may be for you, or where should you be investing in your business? Those decision-making components, again, not selling the lime pie because I like lime pie kind of deal because I like it, but what does the customer want, right? What does the customer want at that time? But data is super key, super important. Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. There's an expression, if you can't measure it, you can't manage it. So
Exactly.
intuition and feel, I mean,
Yeah.
that's kind of
Absolutely.
my domain, but boy, data can really shout loud.
Oh yeah,
Yes.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And oh, sorry, go ahead, John. I don't know.
That wasn't me.
Okay. So in EMBA, and just because we're at 2 minutes, but EMBA, we developed a survey where we pointed out 10 items that we thought as individuals were important to the business community. And boy, were we surprised. It was, the business community had, and collectively and majority, chosen different set of priorities. And that was important for us to not only accept, learn, and realize that just because I feel it's important, it's great. It's a priority for me, but the consensus out there was a bit different. And that was great to build upon that, because then again, we reevaluate on a yearly basis. And then from there, we decide what the programming will be for, say, 2025 because of those priorities.
Very good.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much. I know we're at 1 minute.
So thank you very much, Patricia.
Thank you.
Great presentation.
Thank you.
We'll be posting this on YouTube. If you're already watching it, we'll have the link to Patricia's presentation there as well, and links to EMBA and everything else that's related to Patricia. So thank you very much.
All right.
Thank you. You
Awesome.
have a great day.
Take care. All right,
Bye-bye.
Bye.